Hey, everybody, welcome to my show. You've heard me before, call it a podcast. It's really just an excuse to sit down with some of my friends and put it out there for people to really just kind of have some fun with it and maybe learn something. The people that I have on my show are friends first, and they're total experts, total pros. It's not like a referral I'm trying to make. It's an introduction. And today, man, I'm really excited because I'm sitting down with someone who I just have so much respect for. Her name's Evelyn Moon. She's an incredible mom. She's an incredible friend, and she's a powerful immigration attorney. And I can't wait for you to learn a little bit more about her. So let me tell you a quick story. Coming in today, you got your typical, suit on because you're always dressed so well, and I admire that about you. Thanks for coming on and taking a hot seat, I call it a little bit, where we get to talk about being a mom and an immigration attorney, stuff like that. So thanks for carving out some time in your busy day to sit down with me today.
Thank you so much for having me, Chris. It's an honor.
Yeah, thank you. Let's just jump right into what's really important. You're the mom of two boys.
Yes.
Now, I'm the youngest of four boys and a girl. And one of the things I love, I get a couple reels, some Facebook, some Instagram. Anything marriage related is funny for me, sports related stuff. And somehow I get a bunch of reels on crazy kids.
Yeah.
And my favorite reels these days are the pictures of a mom with like a daughter, and the daughter's kind of sitting there, whether she's coloring or playing and then there's the next picture of the three boys that are beating each other up with baseball bats and jumping off the couch and pillows. Now, I lived that life, by the way.
Yes, yes.
You're a mom of two young boys. How much fun is it watching them do whatever it is that they do on a crazy level that just makes you think, oh my gosh, like, are they going to make it? Like, how does this work?
Yeah, I mean, it's really fun to be a mom of two boys.
Yeah.
My boys are 7 and 3 years old. He's actually turning 3 years old this month, end of this month.
Yeah, I love that.
And, they have 4 years of age gap, right?
Yeah.
So I thought, they wouldn't really get along together, right? Because of the age gap.
Sure, because of the difference. Yeah.
The age difference. But man, they fight, they yell, but they hang out together and everything. But it's a constant battle for sure. Yeah, lots of noise, lots of breaking noises, right?
Yes.
Lots of screaming and yelling and crying, but it's really fun to be a mom of two boys.
Yeah.
I really treasure this moment. I almost want to kind of freeze this time because it's so precious, and I know that it won't last forever.
Yeah.
So
it goes fast.
It goes by really fast. I can already tell, right, how fast it goes by. We were just talking about it, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I really want to freeze this moment. I really enjoy being a mom.
Oh my gosh, I love hearing that. Some of these questions are personal. They're not that personal. Like, I'm not going to ask you for your social security number or something like that. Before I ask you a question, siblings? Do you have your own siblings?
I have one sister and one younger brother. Yeah, one younger sister, one younger brother.
And how close are you in age to your sister?
1 year. She's my younger sister, and then 7 years younger than me, my brother. So
Did
he's
you
my
and your
big
sister fight?
Oh my gosh, a lot. We fought a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, over clothes, some little stupid things.
No, but that's what sisters do and brothers. And the reason I ask that is I've been married 30 years. My wife's an only child. And she was born and raised by this. My father-in-law was this incredible man. He's no longer here. Italian Catholic, very head down when he eats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I come from 5. And so and I have 3 kids. Sometimes when my kids were younger, for my wife, it was like the dinner table was weird for her because the kids would be kids. When the kids would fight, my wife would be like, oh my gosh. And for me, I could sit back with normalcy and say yeah, if they're not fighting, I'm worried about them.
Right.
and to bring it full circle, if I can just tell you, I'm going to predict the future right now for you. I'm the youngest. 2 of my 3 older brothers, they beat me up all the time. They would target me all the time. They would do things to me all the time as a younger brother. But at the first sign of trouble, they were the first ones in front of the neighborhood bullies, or they were the first ones to protect me and defend me.
Right.
And so I can already tell you, as they fight and as they scream and probably break a few things.
Yes.
The good news is your older son will always protect your younger son no matter what happens. And that's the beauty of the fight and and all that stuff. And by the time your 3-year-old probably gets old enough to beat up his older brother, he'll be too old. He won't want to anymore.
Yes.
Because people will say, Chris, you're the youngest. They beat you up. Did you ever want to beat them up? Well, by the time I was big enough to do it, I was 15 or 16. Right. I didn't want to do that anymore. So I'm just preparing you. Good things are set to come. A little bit more fights are coming and some stuff like that. What do the boys like to do for fun? Do they play sports? Do they play the violin?
So for now, my older son, Liam, he plays baseball. He used to play ice hockey, but he wants to focus on baseball.
Okay.
And he's also trying for the flag football.
Okay.
Yeah, so he just started playing flag football.
I love that.
Yeah.
Who's his favorite baseball player? Does he have one?
Ohei Shotani, for sure.
Okay.
Of course.
I mean, was he old enough to watch him when he was with the Angels before he got traded to the Dodgers?
No, he was too young at the time.
Yeah.
But he started playing baseball about 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
And his number is 17 because of that.
Yeah.
You know, he's in the Little League.
Yeah.
So, he always picks 17 because of Shotani.
And I know you're a Dodger fan. Was that before Ohtani came, or have you always been a Dodger fan?
I've always been a Dodgers fan because there were a couple of very famous Korean baseball players, including Chano Park. So I've been and then I went to UCLA.
Okay.
So I've been a Dodgers fan for a long time.
One of the things I love about this podcast is really what it is. I learned something about people I've known for a long time, and that's one of the things I love about it. Like my last interview was someone we know, Chris King. I've known him for 7 years. I learned something about him in our short little conversation I didn't know. So it's one of the things I love about it.
Right.
But there's something that I've never asked you about. Born and raised here or in Korea?
I was born and raised in Korea.
Okay.
Until high school.
Yeah,
so I was an immigrant myself.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that.
Okay.
What whole family came here and how old were you?
I was 14.
Okay. So let's talk for a couple minutes. I like the personal more than the business.
Yeah.
How was that? Because I'm native. I was born here. How was that coming? Literally, like, I'm sure you read and heard and saw, but how was that transition? For a 14-year-old girl especially. Right? Going through a lot at that time.
Exactly. So I came here when I was 14.
Yeah.
My dad was an executive of the global company in South Korea.
Okay.
It was called SK Communications. Telecommunications is kind of like one of those big companies like Samsung, Hyundai, Kia.
Yeah.
And he was an executive and he was sort of transferred over to the U.S. branch office as an expat, right? So we, as a derivative family members, were able to immigrate to the U.S. together with him. At first, it was a visa, work visa, and then we transitioned into the green card, right? So that's how we immigrated.
Yeah.
So I was only 14. I can still vividly remember the first day of school.
Yeah.
Everybody was watching, looking at me as if I'm some kind of stranger, right? And I couldn't really speak English well. My English was broken.
So learned a little bit, but more broken.
Very broken.
Okay.
So I had to start learning how to speak English. I was in ESL class, right? And, cultural shock, this barrier and, and when you're 14, you're going to that teenage stage, right? Teenage mode.
I was going to say, you have enough going on
Yeah,
already.
that emotional roller coster, right?
Yeah.
So it was a lot for me to take on, learning the language, struggling with cultural difference.
Changes,
sure. Environment.
Food.
Right? I mean, yes, of course.
For someone who's never immigrated.
It's so funny how you caught that. The first thing that I tried from Costco was the Costco pizza.
Oh, okay.
I had to throw it away because it was so salty.
Yeah, so much
I was
different.
like, oh my gosh, it tastes like salt.
Yeah.
Right? But now I love Costco pizza.
Okay.
I cannot live without it.
I love that. So let's stay on the food topic for just a minute. I haven't been to Korea. I'm going to go to Korea. My wife and I both want to go. What's the biggest difference? I want to presume they make Korean food in America, but it's probably Americanized Korean food. Is there places where you can go that's the Korean food that maybe like your mom used to make or a grandparent or something like that? Can you find those spots that's really more authentic?
There's so many. There are too many.
Love that.
So I have to give you the list of all the places that you can visit. Some fusion, but very authentic, very Korean traditional food. So, and depending on what you want to try, like whether it's seafood or, some authentic Korean food, like there's so many different types of.
Yeah, I love that. What about the boys? Are they finicky eaters? Like, do they want the chicken nuggets and the Costco pizza, or will they have some of the authentic Korean food?
They're very picky eaters, unfortunately. So my sons, they wouldn't touch like kimchi or some very, strong flavored Korean food, unfortunately. But I'm trying to take them to Korea.
Yeah.
So I only took my older son when he was only 2. So he doesn't really remember anything.
Yeah.
And my second son has never been to Korea. So I cannot wait until I take them and, make them try all this different types of food.
Yeah, I can't wait to spend more time with you when my wife and I know we're going to plan it, because I'm going to buy you dinner or something. I'm going to make you sit with me for 2 hours to tell us all the do's and don'ts about it.
You don't have to buy me anything, but I cannot wait to share with you all the list. I actually went to Korea last April for a conference.
Okay.
So I know all the hot places, they're trendy ones.
Yeah.
So I'll share with you.
One of my closest friends for 35 years is Korean. And same thing, I've told his name's Young Choi. And same thing, I said, man, I can't wait to pick your brain just to make sure whatever time I have there. Okay, so let's talk about you.
Okay.
Because I know how good you are in your job without you saying how good of an immigration attorney you are, because in the group we met, the networking group we've become friends in, when people stand up and say great things about you, you don't ever need to say anything great about yourself. So I know you're not going to say anything great about yourself. I'm going to do that for you. The amount of people who talk about your knowledge and expertise and success, and probably more importantly, your passion about being an immigration attorney. Other people say how great you are. And I love that when people talk about you, they use the word, you're an expert, you're really talented. But the word I love that they say most is about how passionate you are, right? So very few of us really get to be, I'm in the mortgage business. How passionate can you be about real estate finance? I like it. Not passionate about it. I love how passionate you are about being an immigration attorney. Tough question. Do you think part of that just resonated because you're an immigrant? I don't want to trivialize it, but do you think part of that is really the genesis of one of the reasons I am so passionate is because my family immigrated here? Is that a fair statement?
100%. I can totally relate what my clients are going through, because even though I was a minor child and I didn't really personally go through that immigration process myself, it was actually my dad, right? But I actually witnessed it and observed. And actually, we went to the interview all together as a family, and I experienced it, how intense it was, right? We had to get in a long line in front of the immigration building. It was 6 o'clock in the morning. I can still remember coming out of the interview, and we were just having donuts after that. And my dad was so relieved that we passed the interview. So I've experienced all that.
Do you find out right away? Like once you're done with the interview?
Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, depending on the officer.
Okay, got it.
So I really clearly remember how important it was to have that legal status in the U.S. in order to continue with your life. And my dad, that moment when he was very relieved, right? So when it comes to immigration, I take it very personally, right?
Sounds like it.
It's not one of those paperwork or applications that I prepare and try to file. It is more of I can feel how personal it is for my client and his or her family members too, right? Because I actually, whichever case that I handle, I help somebody. I open the door of opportunities to someone, and that someone or the family can achieve their American dream, right? Without that door of opportunity, there's no American dream, right? So it is very rewarding experience.
Oh my gosh, I love like your eyes light up when you talk about the American dream. I'm Native American. I don't always say politically correct things. I'm enamored by people from foreign countries, whether it's your country, Europeans, Middle East. I have so many friends from different ethnicities. And one of the things I admire about people that are not Native Americans, I feel like people from other countries have a little more passion for family, passion for helping people. I'm not saying it's a perfect science, and there's a ton of Native people from here that are wonderfully kind, loving, passionate.
Right, of course.
But I have found a little bit more of a passion level from people that are not born and raised here. And one of the things I try not to get too cynical at 58 years old, but what I find myself doing sometimes is comparing people like me to people from other countries and say we should be more like someone who immigrated from Korea, who talks about the American dream. Because as Americans, I should be talking as passionately about the American dream as you should. Because I have it, I've lived it, I was born with it, and somehow I find that we, not you, Native Americans, we're not appreciating this as much as we should, but it's taking people like you to say, gosh, I want to help someone achieve the American dream. And I find your passion and you light up when you talk about that.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I think you're so successful, which I know you're not going to say, there's so much you hear about immigration attorneys who just file the paperwork, like what you just kind of referenced. But that's not you. Like, you don't want to just file the paperwork for someone, right? It sounds like you, if you're going to take it on, like, you're really invested in it. Is that a fair statement?
Yes. First of all, I don't take cases from anyone, right? I have to feel that confidence. At least I have this confidence that the case is approvable, of course, right?
Yeah.
More than 50% of approval chance.
Yeah.
But also I have to be able to feel that confidence and be able to, support my clients throughout the whole process, right?
It's a lengthy process, right?
It is a lengthy process. In order to do that, I have to be confident in the case, right?
Yeah, of course.
So once I take the case from my client, I don't let it fail.
Yeah,
you know what
yours.
I mean?
Like,
yeah, it's mine.
It.
Yeah. So even if it's whether it's collecting information from my clients or drafting letters on behalf of my client, I just put my heart and soul into it, right? Every single letter that I draft for my client, I don't take it just lightly. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even if it's just description of the company, or even if it's just, job description, or, someone's qualifications, right? I take it very, very seriously and personally.
Yeah, I love that. Now, I'm a mortgage broker. I only know about immigration what I see that I can fact check, and I have my own beliefs, and I'm going to share my beliefs with you, because then I want to ask you some questions about it. I am 100% for legal immigration. I say bring everybody that we can, and I mean that, because I believe that our country at its core has the ability to embrace it, to welcome it, to allow it to become integrated into the functioning system of the economy and jobs and healthcare and all those things. I'm a massive fan of it.
Okay.
I don't necessarily agree with some of the recent past political decisions that have been made that, come in, we'll figure it out later, some of the costs and things like that. And it's just a personal opinion.
Right.
I say it all the time. I'm a massive immigration fan. I want as many people to come to this country as they can. I would like it to be done differently. Now, listen, some people might like me to do my job differently. So,
Yeah, of course.
I just think it's been done poorly, and whether the new administration changes are effective or not, we don't know, right? We'll just have to wait and see. But to bring that full circle, there's two types of immigration to a certain degree. I know that someone may want to immigrate from a country and come to the U.S. and bring their family. And I know there's businesses similar to your dad's situation.
Yes.
I want to talk about that for a couple minutes. You're very well versed in that. Part of that come from that's how you guys came.
Exactly.
And so you believe in, boy, if I can help a corporation bring an executive over, I also get to bring 6 people over, right? To a certain degree, is that kind of one of the reasons you're passionate about the corporate side of it, where helping people migrate to the U.S. within their business and their company and all that stuff?
Yeah. So I primarily focus on business and investment immigration, as well as family immigration. But my passion is in business and investment immigration. Yeah. What does that mean, right? So I help the U.S. companies when they can't find the actual U.S. talented employees from the pool of applicants in the U.S., right, for their very critical project, right? then what do they do, right? They
Right.
have to hire foreign talents, right?
Yeah.
So I get to help them hire foreign talents when they can't find the qualified U.S. workers.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of process that you have to go through depending on the type of visas and green card options.
Sure.
But it's a very stringent process that all these U.S. companies have to go through to
Yeah.
prove and justify the need for the foreign national employees
them.
to bring them,
Yeah.
right? So I get to help them, right,
Yeah.
go through the process and hire foreign talents who can work on these very critical projects.
Yeah.
They can generate a lot of U.S. jobs, right? Because there's all these other impacts, right?
course.
Because of that one big project,
Yeah.
right? If the foreign national, talented national can execute the project, right? And that in and of itself, that project in and of itself can create other
Right.
U.S. jobs.
Right.
We're doing such a great work, right?
And I love that, the short question I sent to you. I love, I mean it. I want to affirm to you, I really love one of the things you said because I don't think it's lip service from you. And one of the things you said is that you love bringing people here to bring them here, but you also love that it helps create more U.S. jobs.
That's my sole focus
Yeah.
when it comes to business immigration.
Yeah.
That's the best part that I love about.
Do you think that enough people, not Evelyn Moon, but do you think people would look deep enough at an immigration attorney and instead of just thinking immigration, do you think people are giving you and anyone like you a fair shake to say, wait a second, they are passionate to bring people here, but they're doing it because they like the bigger picture of more U.S. jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people are going to give someone like you enough credit for that. I think there's going to be some people in a political party that might be like, oh, she wants more immigration.
Yeah.
You really come from a dual role of, you'd love to help people come to this great country, but you also believe that it could then create more jobs for the people that are here.
Mm-hmm, because a lot of people forget about what kind of other impact that one very critical project
Yeah.
that U.S. companies are executing can bring,
Yeah.
right? And if that one person happens to be that foreign national very talented foreign national who has very specialized skills and knowledge
Yeah.
and who can do this job,
Yeah.
why not?
Why
right?
not?
Why
I
not?
mean-
And if that, because of that project success, after the successful completion of the project,
Yeah.
if we can hire so many other U.S. workers,
Yeah.
why not?
Why not?
Right?
I love that.
And there's a specific green card option that even specifically focus on generating jobs through the foreign investment called EB-5.
Okay.
So there's an option where foreign investors, right, can make an investment into the U.S. project like hotel, mixed-use condo,
Okay.
hospital projects,
Yeah.
right? But one critical requirement is that that project has to create 10 U.S. full-time jobs per foreign investor. So
Okay.
there's an option where that is actually a mandatory. The whole point of EB-5 is to
Yeah.
create U.S. jobs and boost the U.S. economy.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think gosh, I mean, I'm not going to get political. Too many people don't fact check.
Mm-hmm.
Too many people hear a name and they just label it, right? EB-5, let me just ask you an example. Someone from China has $10 million and they want to buy a hotel in Kentucky. They can bring in their $10 million, one potential green card, right? And then up to 10 U.S. jobs for every foreign investor that's going to come. Did I summarize that close?
So there are two types of EB-5.
Yeah.
One is direct investment, direct EB-5. The other one is regional center-based EB-5.
Okay.
Right. So direct EB-5 is where just one single EB-5 investor makes a direct investment into his own created project,
Sure.
or a project that person can develop with other partners, but
Sure.
there's only one single EB-5 investor allowed in that direct EB-5 investment,
Okay,
right?
got it.
So it is more smaller scaled
Yeah,
project,
yeah.
right? Versus this regional center-based EB-5 is where large scale project like hotel, mixed-use condo, that developer pulls the investment from many different EB-5 investors, that is sponsored by this program called Regional Center, right? As long as your project is sponsored by the regional center, then you can pull the investment from multiple different EB-5 investors. So the minimum required investment is $800,000 depending on the location. If the location is in the rural area or high unemployment rated area, then it is
more flexible on it, right?
Then it's $800,000.
Because it would create some more jobs in the underserved area or something like that.
Yes, exactly. If not, then it's $1,050,000 per investor. Right, so it really depends on which type of cases, type of EB-5, but vast majority of EB-5 investors utilize regional center-based EB-5 because you can be a passive investor. You don't have to worry about developing your own business, right, own project. So.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I think that needs to be made aware more because if you look at the result of all of that, more U.S. jobs. Right? If you just look at, if you get rid of the immigration word, if you get rid of the investor word, if you get rid of whatever country they come from, if the only net result is more U.S. jobs.
And that is even mandatory as part of the requirement. It's part of it,
even if they didn't want to do it, they have to do it.
Yeah, then they can't get a green card if there's no 10 jobs per investor.
Okay, so let's stay on that for just a minute. I'm super, you can tell I'm like super intrigued by that.
Yes.
This is not an exact answer to hold you to it. One of the U.S.-based companies wants to hire someone from another country. They're going to start a new project. Can you give me an approximate? How long does it take? Is it a week? Is it 7 years? I know there's going to be variables to it. Is there kind of like hey, on average, if everything goes smoothly, it's 18 months or something like that? Are you allowed to answer that?
Yes.
Okay. Give me just kind of an idea what that looks like.
Yeah, so it really depends on what type of visa, whether it is for the temporary work visa versus green card, right? When it comes to temporary visa, work visa, then there are several different types of visas too, right? So it really depends on what type of work visa we're talking about, right? So for example, if we're talking about different duration, different timing, different processing time. So it really depends, but the most popular work visa is called H-1B visa that is for specialty occupation, right? So if the U.S. company has a position, right, that requires bachelor's degree at minimum or higher, and if the foreign national has bachelor's degree in that related field, then boom, you pretty much meet all the requirements, right? So you can start the sponsorship process. But because it is relatively easy to meet that requirement, right? Like we require bachelor's degree, and he or she has a bachelor's degree in that related field, so everybody's happy. Because of that, there's a limited quota, limited numbers of H-1B visas.
Because it's so common, right? Because it's not a hard metrics to meet if that's kind of the bar.
Yeah, so it's 65,000 for those with bachelor's degree and 20,000 for those with master's degree earned from the U.S. institutions. For the 65, the regular one, the degree can be earned from different countries too. But for that 20,000 master's degree, it's called master's cap. It has to be earned from the U.S. institutions, right? So total of 85,000 only per every fiscal year. So a lot of companies try to fight for that. So there's a random lottery selection process in the month of March. And then
Every
after
March is crazy for you.
For me. So my birthday is March 20th. So I go crazy.
That's not a great birthday month.
It's not a great birthday month for me. But so after that random selection process, it's an electronic lottery system. Then they make an announcement who's selected in the lottery. So we get a result. Then we are able to file that H-1B petitions between April to June. So we get that 90-day window. So between March to June, it's pretty busy season for us immigration lawyers in the business immigration industry.
Oh my gosh, I'm fascinated. I'm grateful. I love so many things about our country, and there's some things I don't like, but my wife probably doesn't like everything I do either. It's just part of being in a relationship, even if it's your country. I'm grateful that those opportunities are there. Most importantly, because I hate to keep saying it, I love that the net result of that is more jobs. And I wish sometimes people would be able to hear that message differently, because I think fewer people would get frustrated by that word. There's a lot of people in this country, you just hear the word immigration, they think it's bad, and they forget that we're all immigrants. I love that at least there are some things that our country is doing that is helping promote that. Yes, there's only 85,000, but at least there's 85,000, right?
Exactly.
And I love that there's an opportunity for a business to say, we can't find this person, let's go get them from Indonesia, and let's bring them here, and that maybe we get to bring a family of 6 here. Legally, properly, they get to pay taxes,
right?
But they also get to go to school. They get health care. I mean, they get freedom, all those things.
Right.
I wish immigration could be overhauled to benefit everyone better, and I'm sure that's never going to be a perfect science.
Yeah, because news media, they always want to focus on those bad players, right? Or illegal immigrants with criminal records, right? But there's so many other amazing immigrants who are making substantial contributions to this country, right?
Yeah.
So H-1B was just one visa category that I mentioned, but there's so many other options, right? Such as EB-1A or NIW, that is for those with extraordinary ability or who has this talent that is that can be considered as national interest, right? In national interest, such as Olympic gold medalist or scientists, right? Or researchers or scientists.
Really above and beyond.
Above and beyond.
Yeah.
So we often forget about how much value all these immigrants can bring to the country, right? All these technologies, right? The skills, knowledge.
Help us get better.
Yeah.
And create more jobs.
Exactly.
I've always been like, not an exact answer. If someone, let's say they get a work visa or any category of visa, and let's say they're here for 18 months. I'm just giving you a hypothetical.
Okay.
Is there anything in the law that, like, does it make it easier for them to potentially apply for citizenship versus someone who just wants to bring their family here? Like, if you have that visa and you've shown and the work and they still sponsor you, is it's kind of like if someone doesn't get into UCI right away, if they go to Saddleback Junior College here, they have a feeder program that gets into UCI versus someone just trying to apply at UCI. If you correlate that into immigration, if someone already has that work visa, potentially does that help them get to citizenship faster if that's something that they even desire?
I mean, it really depends on what type of category too. So for example, my dad came here through executive visa called L1A, right? And there's a green card option that is called EB1C that is for executive employees as well, intra-company transfer executive as well, right? So L1A and EB1C green card, even though L1A is just for temporary work visa and EB1A is for green card, the requirements for both are very similar, right? So if you get an L1A visa first, then it is much easier to obtain that EB1C green card because of the very similar requirements,
You've already
right?
met, let's say, most, if, of the requirements they need to get the green card anyway, right?
Right.
Okay.
So it really depends on what categories we're talking about.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you just don't need that type of visas or other temporary work visas if you're married to a U.S. citizen, right? Then it's a really fast track very easy, a little bit easier and fast track to obtain a green card, right? So it really depends on what type of visa categories or green card categories we're talking about.
Yeah,
their family, their business category, and then within the category, there's so many different types.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so yes and no sometimes.
And it's probably constantly changing.
Yes.
I mean, I would imagine every time an administration comes, it changes, good or bad. I'd imagine anytime something happens, whether maybe it's within the confines of that administration, that maybe there's something else that changes, right? I mean, I'm sure most of our friends who are mutual friends with know this. I always wanted to be an attorney, but I didn't like school. So after I got my bachelor's degree, I said, I'm not going to law school for sure. And I'm sure every category of law is constantly changing. This has been a hot topic with really the last 4 administrations, maybe even 5. I would imagine you are seeing, trying to stay up to date on all of the changes and modifications and enhancements is probably almost like a full-time job.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Yeah, it's so funny how you mentioned that. I was calculating how many years of experience that I had.
Yeah.
So I started working as a paralegal fresh out of college.
Yeah.
So it's been 18 years
Wow.
since I started working in the immigration industry.
Real quick, always immigration?
Always immigration.
Just that was what you
Yes.
did, and that's what you started in?
I mean, I try to, do internship and try to work for, general practice firm here and there, like during and after law school. But my entire career has been in immigration.
Yeah.
So 18 years as a professional, and then 13 years as an attorney.
Yeah.
So combining total 18 years. So I was very surprised. Meaning I went through many different administrations, right, including Obama, Biden, two Trumps. So
and everyone was some similarities, a lot of differences, right?
Yes.
And obviously, with what Obama and Biden did, it was a little more aligned, right? Because they were just more aligned.
Yes.
Obviously, the first Trump administration, he wants to make an impact. I tell people all the time, whether you voted for him or not, he wants to come in and make big impacts, and that's his personality. Whether people agree with it or not, that's the truth.
Yeah.
And so he'll typically. His pendulum shift is greater than most, right?
Yeah.
And he's super passionate about immigration.
Yes.
So anyway, I could imagine when you're going from one administration to another, where one wants to be so empowered and powerful on it, and then you get to Biden where he wanted to make a statement to pull that back a little bit, right? Make it a little bit easier. And then Trump comes in and now he wants to make a big impact. So your pendulum swings have not just been normal market shifts, they've been significant.
Yes, a lot of people ask me how you do it. How do you maintain your sanity? That's what a lot of people ask me. And then it's so funny. Yesterday, I actually met another fellow immigration attorney friend at one of those networking meetings.
Yeah.
And I asked him, did you see that policy update, release of the new policy about the NTA that can still be issued to a marriage-based green card beneficiary? And he goes, which update are you talking about, right? Like which one? Because there are too many updates, so many of them. So we can't hardly keep up with all these updates.
Yeah.
But funny enough, like there's so many constant changes.
Yeah.
So one of the big changes that was released last Friday was that they can still issue something called NTA, notice to appear, meaning it's the start of the removal process, right? Like deportation process.
Yeah.
So NTA can still be issued for someone who's married to a U.S. citizen who legally entered the U.S., not illegally, legally entered the U.S. but happened to overstay, even just a few months.
Because they get a finite amount of time, right, to visit. And then if they don't have whatever permission to extend that visit,
and they overstay. Or maybe sometimes mistake happen, right? So they get to overstay, right?
Something.
Yeah, so things happen, right? Without their intention, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes a lot of people happen to overstay without planning to overstay, right? So even though that happens, you may still get the NTA.
The notice to appear.
It used to be sort of like a free pass.
Yeah.
If you're married to a U.S. citizen, then even if you overstayed, you usually don't go through that NTA process, like removal process.
Yeah.
But the policy came out last Friday that they can still be issued an NTA and might have to present their case in front of the immigration judge in court, which is a very crazy big news in our industry.
Well, I'm going to say some things that you're not allowed to say.
Okay.
And I'll go back and reference for a second. I am a massive fan of legal immigration. I'm not a fan of illegal immigration. I'm also not a fan. I'm obviously not the president. And it's easy to look back and say, they should have done it this way. They should have done it. They should. One of the things I struggle with Trump, you're not allowed to say anything right now, is I actually support, and I have some people that we have healthy disagreements on. I actually support his theory of legal immigration. The problem is, which is typical for him, is his execution. When he first started talking about the criminals incarcerated, some of those things, and again, varying opinions, I'm all for it. Deport them. I don't want to pay for them. They're criminals, whatever. I also understand the defense of if they're here illegally, they're a criminal. And by the way, by the letter of the law, they are. That's true. I just feel like the person that's married, so you have a married citizen and someone who came in legally, who is in the process of trying to become legal. Mm-hmm. I'm going to imagine he just wanted to make one fell swoop and just generalize it. But unfortunately, prior to his administration, there was a lot of people who are trying to do it the right way. And I know it's impossible to find every single person.
Right.
I just wish on the execution of what he did, mm-hmm. I'm all for getting rid of the criminals that are in jail, get rid of them. Mm-hmm. I'm a fan of strengthening the borders. That's just an opinion. Mm-hmm. And I know he doesn't care about Democrats. Mm-hmm. I almost wish he would have got rid of the criminals, strengthened the borders, and then paused for a little bit, because he could have gotten a huge win from Republicans and Democrats, and I'm no politician. He could have gotten, because the people on his side of the aisle were like, God, he was really aggressive. The people on the other side of the aisle were like, he's a terrible human being.
Yeah.
I think so many people would have supported him, and you're not allowed to offer an opinion on this because you're an attorney. I just wish he would have done a little bit of it differently, because I felt like he really could have aligned with, I want people to be here who want to do it legally, and I don't want people to be here who want to do it illegally. And so that was just more of my commentary to you of, there's so much misinformation out there, but I felt like he had an opportunity to bring both parties together, which he doesn't like to do all the time, and say, we're going to strengthen our borders to prevent more from coming in. We're going to try and figure out this mess that we have, and I want to get rid of the bad guys. And I felt like he could have had such a win with, it would have been hard for the Democrats to argue his logic around that. So with that dissertation, I don't want you to say anything because you're probably not allowed to. Here's one thing I do want to talk about that relates to that a little bit.
Yeah.
If somebody's in the, and if you can't answer it, tell me. If someone's in the process of going through it, and next week, like they're doing it the right way, and next week there's an update, let's say. Do they get to grandfather in from the previous one, or does it now the new update become precedent?
It all depends on their decision.
Yeah.
They sometimes grandfather it. They sometimes say effective as of.
So real quick, just to interrupt. I like to interrupt because it's my podcast. Does that mean, does typically that change show that? Does it say like, hey, but
Yes.
they're grandfathered or effective immediately, so that if you're even in the process, too late?
Usually they would clearly indicate it.
Okay.
And just going back to your previous comments, or
I just wanted to get you off the hook if you're not allowed to. You know.
I totally agree with you. And even though I'm an immigrant myself, I am against illegal immigrants, who cross the border and try to enter our country illegally. I'm not for it, right?
Yeah.
But there are so many situations where people are without their bad intention or, plan, right? Sometimes you're brought to this country, for example, minor children, when their parents decide to cross the border for, of course, better life for everyone.
Sure, of course.
They're 2 years old, 3 years old, right? And they come to this country and suddenly they realize that they're here illegally, right?
Yeah.
So that is just one example, right?
Yeah.
And asylum seekers and refugees and all that, right?
Yeah.
So there are so many different exceptions, right?
Yeah.
Where we're also talking about the victims, vulnerable human beings, right?
There's a lot of them.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
So instead of generalizing illegal immigrants as bad actors and criminals, and we have to get rid of them, I wish there were more opportunities to sort of categorize things so that there's enough and more fair and reasonable exceptions, right?
Yeah.
But I also think that there wasn't enough time, right, for Trump to execute everything and think about all these exceptions and put it in writing in the regulations and, get bipartisan support and put it, pass that into law. So I understand why this current administration was trying so hard to literally moving and shaking things, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just have to take action, right, to make some big, grandiose changes, right? But I wish there were a group of experts with deep immigration knowledge, right, on his side, who can sort of give him very detailed analysis of what can potentially happen when we make this type of changes and what kind of exceptions we want to implement, right? So that we can protect more vulnerable
Yeah.
Illegal immigrants.
Who didn't choose to do
People
it.
who didn't choose to be in that position, in that shoes, right?
Yeah.
So I think it takes time. There's no right or wrong answer to this, and I don't want to get into this political, but you know what I'm saying?
Perfectly, yeah.
So I think we need to give this administration some time to flatten that out and iron that out situation.
Yeah.
But because of that, during that process, because they had limited time and they really wanted to execute.
They did.
A lot of victims were created, unfortunately.
Well, I think I'll wrap this up on the immigration stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm fascinated by it because you have an approach to it. Like I love that you're very balanced on it. Like you believe in a certain thing and you would have liked to see it done a different way, and you're not denouncing or criticizing. You're just saying, hey, I like this. I didn't really like that. And you're doing it tactfully in a way that's like, this is really like what I believe in. I feel like sometimes people think they need to get a big win right out of the gate. And again, I appreciate the political pressure he was under because of what he said he was going to do before
the election.
I just don't think he realized how powerful, because it seems to be a little bit of a recurring theme that some of the people that are here legally that were immigrants have said, we are all for legal immigration. We're not for illegal immigration. But there are, and to bring this full circle, regardless of what he did, there was going to be some collateral damage. Right now, the collateral damage is some vulnerable people going through some traumatic things of being removed and some of those things. If he wouldn't have done it, there would have been the one case of the person that got to stay that killed someone or robbed a bank. Collateral damage either way. Yeah. I respect his decision to make a change. But it's like anything, it's like the same in my business. I respect industry changes to protect consumers. Mm-hmm. I don't always agree with the execution of it. Mm-hmm. So, okay, listen, I gotta wrap up. I want to talk about a couple more real quick personal things. Okay. I want to tell you something. I learned more in the last 40 minutes with you about what people are going through, and I love that. And I get why you're so passionate about it. I mean it. I've heard you speak. I've heard people talk about thanking you for helping their friends and colleagues and businesses and stuff like that. I feel like I learned so much. Like I'm way more knowledgeable about what's really going on and really how things work. Mm-hmm. Let's wrap up with a couple personal things. Okay. I don't want to say this word wrong, but I might. Favorite last meal, omasaki? Did I say that right?
Yeah, omasake.
Omasake. Yeah. And so for the audience members who don't know, if I understand it, because I looked it up, omasake is when you go somewhere and you don't order anything and you let the chef just bring you food.
One by one.
One by one.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you a question. I'm a finicky eater. Mm-hmm. If I go to Korea, don't laugh. Can I say, I want omasake, just don't give me any like squid or something? Or is it you go in omasake and they're going to bring you what they want?
I think you can definitely tell them what you're allergic to and what you don't want to have. Yeah. But when it comes to your preference, personal preference, other than allergic reaction, I think it'll be a little bit difficult because it'll hurt the chef's pride.
I was just going to say,
you don't want to hurt their pride or get into their...
And what are you... Is it seafood? Is it soups?
Sushi. Sushi, omakase, yeah.
Because sushi is one of my favorite dishes. Mm-hmm. So if I go to Korea and I do it that way, they're just going to bring me whatever their specialty of sushi is. Now, I think I would love that.
Yeah.
I don't think I would like if someone surprised me with some sort of
monkey brain or no, you're not going to be
a thing. Yeah. And so can you do that at Korean restaurants here? Or is it really when you're in Korea?
It's more specialized, dining experience in Japan. Yeah. Yeah. For when you go to Korea, I'm not sure if they have that kind of omakase type of dinner, other than like Japanese restaurant in Korea.
Sure.
But if you're talking about authentic Korean food, I think it's more of we just bring every dishes
Yeah.
all in one table, almost like the table is about to break.
Yeah.
So they put out all this variety of different side dishes
Yeah.
with main rice and soup.
Yeah.
It's so colorful and so
Yeah.
pretty. Like
I'm going to do that when I go there.
I cannot wait to
and I'm
tell
gonna
you
send the
where to
pictures.
go.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes.
can't wait. You can tell how passionate and knowledgeable and educated Evelyn is. She's not passionate about immigration because, it's immigration. Her family came here to this country, and she's so passionate about it. And you would serve you and your clients well if you needed help in that area to meet with her. I want you to look in that camera,
Okay.
and I want you to tell people, whether it's a phone or an email or website, how they can try and reach out to you if they want to connect with you.
Yeah, you can always find me on my website, which is www.evelynmoon.com. That's my name, evelynmoon.com. And then I have Instagram, Evelyn Moon Law. That's my Instagram handle. And I'm on my LinkedIn, Evelyn Moon. You can just, search me on LinkedIn. I think that's about it.
Yeah.
And I think I have TikTok account, but I rarely use it. I'm not a Gen Z or younger generation, so I stay away from TikTok.
Our generation seems to be a little bit more on the Instagram and
Facebook.
And the Facebook. And I don't need one more social media platform to try and integrate. I'm so grateful that we got to sit down. Love on those boys. I love that you want to freeze time because you're going to turn around one day and they're going to be dating a girl and you're going to be sick to your stomach. But the boys always come home to mama. That's what they do. My two sons, I'm very close. My two sons love their mom more than me, which I get. My daughter and I are a little bit more connected. So the good news for you is your boys will always love you more than anyone else.
Aww.
And so you're going to be fine. Try and freeze some time. I wish you luck on your quest because I love how passionate you are about something that's a difficult landscape right now, but you do it with some grace and some joy and some balance. And so I can't wait to see how many more people you're able to help. So thanks for coming on, Evelyn. I really enjoyed our time.
I really enjoyed our conversation. Thank you so much for having me, Chris.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.